Yeah, I bought a giant life-size slingshot from you, and it just slammed me into a mountain.
Sorry, no returns.
I've been a customer here for years.
I can maybe give you a store credit.
But, really? Well, I guess...
What's the holdup in here?
I'm taking care of it!
Hey everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for more science, space and tech news to share with you. And I came across this over at The Bite. Boeing's StarCraft that's stuck in space costs twice as much as SpaceX's version that does the same thing and works perfectly. The budget numbers don't look good. Yeah. If I was an American taxpayer, I'd be very upset with bloody NASA at the moment. It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, Starburst. Now, the Boeing Starliner, which has marooned 2 NASA astronauts in space after it ran into trouble on its first crewed voyage, has cost nearly double what SpaceX spent on its rival Crew Dragon, with Starliner plagued by far more technical problems. Now, as usual, I will leave the link to the main article below the video so you can pop in and check these embedded links out. Go for a bit of a deeper dive beyond the main article. Makes for a good read, believe me. Now, what's interesting about that is I've done a number of videos on this. And it's ironic that you're going to have to get either Elon Musk to go and rescue them, or you're going to have to get Putin to go up in a Soyuz capsule to bloody rescue them. Fascinating. Interesting, isn't it? And I'm concerned about these NASA astronauts. That's all I care about, getting them home safely. This is insane. The Starliner's budget woes came to the fore this week when Boeing admitted in a quarterly statement flagged by Ars Technica that the company lost another $125 million on the Starliner, adding up to around $5.8 billion in total cost. NASA had originally awarded $4.2 billion to Boeing to build Starliner, resulting in an almost $1.6 billion loss for the company. Meanwhile, NASA has given only around $3.1 billion to SpaceX, headed by tech billionaire Elon Musk, for the Dragon capsule, which has now been successfully ferrying astronauts to space since 2020. In contrast, this is the maiden crew mission for Starliner, a project marred overall with years of delays. And again, there's the link. You can follow up on that. Check the videos out on the channel that I've covered on this. It's just incredible waste. It's fascinating. Starliner's current problems were evident even before its launch into space in June. The capsule experienced a helium leak in one of its thrusters, but NASA went ahead with the mission. And then on its journey towards the International Space Station in June, the Starliner had more helium leaks and issues with thrusters, which has indefinitely delayed the return of the 2 astronauts it brought to the space outpost as teams on the ground scrambled to understand its technical woes. Dear oh dear. And course correction. NASA had wanted 2 options for ferrying astronauts into space, which is why it awarded Boeing and SpaceX deals to build reusable capsules, but SpaceX has come out on top in the race, with NASA awarding it a $14 billion extension in 2022 due to Starliner delays. A $1.4 billion extension, sorry. That's just fascinating, isn't it? Absolutely fascinating. Sure, this means things are great for SpaceX and okay for NASA, which hasn't had to eat the losses from Starliner, but it's terrible news for Boeing, which has also been dealing with a storm of controversy since a door plug blew out from one of its planes earlier this year. Yeah, I've done enough videos on that too. It's the running joke. You can imagine boarding a Boeing plane and the voiceover goes, and any passengers sitting near an exit row, can you please hold the door shut for the duration of the flight? It's insane. Unbelievable. Oh dear, oh dear. But NASA doesn't have redundancy for space capsules in the eventuality that SpaceX has any issues. And there's another wrinkle. Well, they do have redundancy. It's calling on Pooty Poots to come and rescue them in a Soyuz.
Skandal! What's that? The Jewish prayer for eating bread! We don't have one from falling out of space! Wait! We're on the ground! We survived!
That was just a parachute. We still have another 6 miles to go.
Fascinating. And very politically ironic too. And there's another wrinkle. NASA is becoming increasingly reliant on Musk and SpaceX over the years, which may explain why NASA has not come out publicly to publicly spank Musk for sexual misconduct and sometimes fatal safety concerns at SpaceX. Alleged sexual misconduct, of course. Yes. But it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Since Elon bought Twitter and turned it into X, prior to that he was like Donald Trump, the golden-haired boy. Everyone loved him. Before Trump came down the golden escalator in 2015, announced he was running for president in 2016, everyone loved him. He was on TV shows and bloody movies, cameos and bloody everything else. And now everyone hates Trump. And now, of course, Musk bought Twitter, turned it into X. Apparently it was going to be destroyed. He's ruined it. He's done everything. It's still going with 80% less staff.
What percentage of your staff did you fire at Twitter? One of the great business stories of the year.
I think we're about 20% of the original size.
So 80% left.
Yes.
So
I mean, a lot of people voluntarily.
Sure. But it's 80% are gone from the day you took over.
That's correct. Yes.
So how do you run the company with only 20% of the staff?
It turns out you don't need that many people to run Twitter.
But 80%? That's a lot.
Yes. If you're not trying to run some sort of glorified activist organization and you're not care that much about censorship, then you can really let go of a lot of people, it turns out.
But the reason that they're harassing Musk over X is because the governments all over the world have lost 1/3 of the power. They've still got Meta with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and Instagram, and they've still got Google and YouTube to control, but they can't get their message across on X because Elon Musk is a brat and he's just telling them to get stuffed. And so then when you look at it as SpaceX, they've got a completely different attitude. Interesting, isn't it? And that's bad for taxpayers who should demand better from people receiving government money. Yeah, American taxpayers should be very, very upset about this. You know, US government's sending money over to bloody Ukraine. Let's just send another $2 billion over. And now you've got this issue with the StarLiner and all those billions of dollars that have been wasted. And meanwhile, your average American is having difficulty keeping a roof over their head and paying their bills, keeping their kids fed and looking after their children. And there's money being wasted like this. We have the same thing here in Australia. Don't worry, it's a worldwide issue. You know, the government money goes into things left, right and centre that everyone then gets real quiet about because it was a complete waste of money. And meanwhile, you know, the average Australian, because of the economy, is struggling to make ends meet. It's insane. You know, it's frustrating for everybody, believe me. Now you'll see this link here, more on Boeing StarLiner. Retired astronaut admits Boeing StarLiner has trapped crew in space. Did a video on that. This is just an absolute scandal. You know, like I'm completely and utterly gobsmacked, and this is a situation where I'm absolutely amazed it's gone on for as long as it has, but I'm not surprised it's happened. And I think the American public, the taxpayer, should be very, very upset about all of this. Elon Musk isn't perfect. Of course he's not perfect. But he's a hell of a lot better than bloody Boeing is, I can tell you that. It's fascinating, isn't it? All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
I'll be back.